Hey, Julia Barzik here from Wise Investigator. Today we are going to talk about the fifth mindset shift that new assistant professors need to make to have maximal success with research funding. This is my favorite shift of all seven, and we are going to call this from the lone researcher to collaborative networker. And I actually talked about this quite a bit in a video I made a while ago now called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective PIs. And this video is based off Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And one of the important points that he makes in that book and that I elaborated on in the video is how, as you mature throughout your career, you're going to move through different phases where the most mature phase is that of interdependence. So you're not just going it alone. You have the technical skill, you've become an independent researcher, an independent person in your career. But what's even greater than that is to go beyond that into being part of an ecosystem of activity, research, opportunities, and you're going to be in a state of interdependence in a very good way. So, to become this networker and engage with these networks, what do we need to do here? Okay, so you really do need to build a research support system. So, not just a career support system. Again, you have mentors, certainly, and it's helpful to have them for different aspects of your career. But now let's think specifically about research. Well, it's a great idea to identify potential collaborators early in your career, early in the process. So, certainly you are already going to conferences, other kinds of networking events. So, keep doing all of that. But think about attending conferences and other events that are a little bit outside of your core area. These could be people who could become collaborators, even if it's something fairly far outside your research area. Maybe you're not going to invest a whole week to go to a conference in something that you feel is unrelated to your research, but you can certainly attend a webinar, you can read solicitations, and you can talk to faculty from those disciplines just right on campus. They're going to be in your environment. You don't have to go too far to meet people from all the different disciplines, right? So think about building these relationships early before you need them. Do this based on your interest and just see where it goes. But engage in these relationships before you need them. So, related to this, you want to start reading solicitations for some interdisciplinary type efforts. Now, even if you don't plan to apply on these team based awards, some of these are for large amounts of money. You may not be ready to lead a team on an award like this, but you can read the descriptions of the programs and the opportunities and start to think, is this something that I would be interested in submitting for in the future? Even if it's not that exact same opportunity, you're going to see how the disciplines are being pulled together and what the funders are trying to do by building these teams. And you could start to envision how you could play a role on a team like that and keep your eyes and ears open for potential collaborators. All right, so you do want to develop relationships with faculty that are at different career stages, again, in different disciplines, and about make the time to maintain those relationships. So realize that some relationships that you may think are not strongly related to your research area can actually come in handy down the road when you're looking for collaborators in other areas. Maybe even it's not going to be that person that you already know that's going to become your collaborator, but they could refer you to somebody else. So don't discount any of your relationships with other faculty. Maintain those relationships if people are local by perhaps going out to lunch together once a semester, or if somebody's not close to you geographically, you can perhaps ask to have a Zoom, once a semester, even once a year. And keep in mind when you're traveling to a conference or to give a talk or for any reason at all, when you're in whatever geographic area, think about who you know in that area. Could you fit in a meeting, have a meal, a breakfast with somebody in that location? Or maybe you could even extend your trip for another day to build in some networking meetings. So mentorship is important here, and you can make sure that you have mentors that are related to research. You're going to have, again, mentors for help you through different aspects of your career. And also remember that you are a mentor. You're a mentor to your students, but as you grow in your career, you're also going to be a mentor to new incoming faculty. And this will happen sooner than you realize. So value the mentoring relationships from both perspectives. So, really, here, this to me is my favorite of all of the tips and the mindset shifts that you want to make because it's really about flourishing. An ecosystem that is surviving and doing well, and not just surviving, but thriving, right? It has all different components working together and synergistically, and there's growth, right? And then when there is decay, it's recycled into something else and new life and new things and new creativity, right, comes from that. So this is a really exciting place for you to get to in your career. So although you have a lot that you need to be responsible for yourself and that you need to take charge on, and you do need to make sure that you're building yourself up and looking out for yourself and getting to be the lead PI on these things and having projects where it's really all about you, that's all well and good. But remember, you're moving towards interdependence, and this should be a really rewarding aspect of your career.